So Josh, 22 years of life, 22 years of loving sports has brought you to this moment. What show are you going to choose?
That jean hat is awfully enticing, but I will be taking my talents to Sports Scene.
Sports Scene starts now.
To play with JT is it's like a security blanket, you know. We played with him for so long. The first rep in one-on-ones, he could probably close his eyes and know what Amon's going to do.
It's official. USC has inked 3 recruits from Mater Dei: JT Daniels, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Solomon Tuliaupupu. Solo joined his offensive teammates, committing to be a Trojan. Hello and welcome to the luxurious Annenberg Media Center. I'm Josh Cohen.
And I'm Lauren Dunn. Today is a day Trojan football fans have been waiting for. It's signing day. This signing day is the first of its kind because it's actually the second signing day of the year. This was the first year that the early signing period was implemented, meaning players have been signed away to teams for months now. That should have made today a little less climactic, but the Trojans ran away with a great class. Overall, the Trojans recruiting class ranks currently 6th in the nation, according to 24/7 Sports. The Trojans have gotten 6 5-star recruits and 11 4-star recruits, bringing their class up to 17 players. Looking at the positions that they're filling, we see 6 linebackers, 3 defensive backs, 2 linemen on both sides, and the class rounded out with a tailback and major wins at quarterback and wide receiver too. But that's enough generalizations. Josh, let's dig into some of these standout players and how they're going to make an impact on the field.
Got to start out with Elijah Griffin, right? The cornerback, tremendous coverage. Also very good at tackling in space, something very underrated when you look at these cornerbacks. He can play on both sides of the ball. We'll see if he's used in any kind of Adoree-like capacity, but the mystery here really wasn't about his game. It was just about what school he was going to go to. Huge win for SC, landing Mr. Griffin.
Definitely, and I can see he's from Mission Viejo. He's
yeah.
Adding to the list of SoCal boys on the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a fan of recruiting, you knew from the day that kid stepped on campus freshman year of high school, that's someone that you want to land, especially at such a critical position.
Definitely. And moving right along to another 5-star recruit is Pelei Gautiote, who just signed from Vegas. He's one of the few non-Southern California commits, actually, and 24/7 Sports ranks him as the 22nd best player in the nation, and one of the top, if not the top, linebackers coming out of high school. His strengths are really in reading the field and coming up with those big plays. I think he could actually be a starter day one. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I'm right there with you. Let's say it as a class, sideline to sideline. That's what this guy does, incredible speed. I think you're right. It's the anticipation from day one, I think. When we see him out there, you're going to say, wow, that guy's ready to play week 1 of the season. And that's really it. A physical specimen, makes all the plays tremendous against the run, a lot like Elijah Griffin. That's good news for USC, stopping the run. But really, to stand out on that Bishop Gorman defense is a tremendous accomplishment, and this kid did it.
He did.
Other side of the ball. Let's go to the other side of the ball. I mean, this is a standout. You know him. You know his brother, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know the surname, Equanimous, making plays against USC at Notre Dame. He's off to the NFL. But his younger brother, a very different build. You see, they're only 5'11". He's not the tallest guy, but I know that you've seen him play, and he's a tremendous player.
He's something to watch. He definitely plays with a confidence that I feel like only USC can really foster and turn into something great. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the Trojans once he gets here.
He catches just about everything, too. And high school stats, you might say, how much do they mean? 20 receiving touchdowns senior year?
Impressive.
I'm into it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And you also can't talk about standout recruits without talking about this player.
Ooh, yeah.
JT Daniels. He comes in as the Trojans' highest-ranked recruit, and he also happens to be from Mater Dei, just like Amon-Ra. But this 5-star quarterback can definitely show you some moves with his dynamic delivery on the field and his extremely powerful arm. He's also really good at remaining calm in the pocket. He's not afraid to move around to make that big play. So I think his presence is going to make an interesting quarterback battle during spring training.
I would say so. Very safe to say. The bar is up here for him. The expectations are up here for him. Gatorade National Player of the Year as a junior, reclassified. And so I think some people are still getting to know him as a player because we've been very caught up in the Trevor Lawrence tape and things like that, guys who are actually seniors. This guy just a junior, but he's already taken his talents to the collegiate level. When you watch him play, how often do you watch a high school quarterback and watch him just check box after box on a single play? And that's really what you get with this guy. Climbing up in the pocket, not seeing any ghosts, and then firing dart after dart, finding all of his receivers, including St. Brown. Tremendous talent, and really just his composure, his leadership, and also the kid can scoot. I think USC fans have to be very excited about this guy.
Definitely, definitely. He's going to add a lot to the Trojan roster.
Oh yeah, without question. He is not the only modern-day quarterback who will be making that trek 40 miles from modern day to old SC. Todd Marinovich, we kind of cheated here because he transferred after his sophomore year from modern day, but Matt Leinart, of course, the Heisman, the Natty, you know it all by now, and Matt Barkley as well. People forget, 6th in the Heisman voting in 2011, stat machine, won a lot of ball games, and I think you see he's joining a very elite club there.
Certainly. And to get a closer look at all the modern day action, we sent sports reporter Drew Jones down to Orange County to see signing day go down on the Monarch campus.
3 modern-day high school football players have committed to USC. Quarterback JT Daniels, wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, and inside linebacker Solomon Tuliaupupu are now part of the Trojan family. Tuliaupupu did a private reveal of his college choice on ESPN. Daniels is excited to officially be a member of the Trojan family.
To be a Trojan means faith, family, and football. You know, those are your 3 biggest things. It means, you love what you do, you got a passion for football, and you got a passion for your family, and, just being a great person.
JT Daniels originally committed to USC for the 2019 season, but he later reclassified and will be joining the Trojans this fall. He and his family are very excited that he will be playing so close to home.
I go to a lot of SC games as an alumnus, but it's pretty cool to just sit back and, wear a hat and not have to worry about, Coach Rollinson's here and watch my kids perform.
St. Brown comes from quite the college football family. His oldest brother went to Notre Dame and is now entering the 2018 NFL Draft. And his middle brother is starting his redshirt freshman year at Stanford this fall. St. Brown is a 5-star recruit and will join the elite ranks of wide receivers to play for USC.
It's exciting to go to SC, finally sign the paper, be an official Trojan now next year. I'm excited to get the next chapter of my life started. I mean, I love Coach Helton. I think he's one of the finer coaches in college. SC is close to home, and I just fell in love with SC, the players, the atmosphere, just everything.
The trio is now finishing up the remainder of their senior year as they await their start at USC. They continued to say how excited they were to finally be Trojans.
That is good stuff, and now I'm fired up. Let's do it. Nick Kaufman now joining me, and we're talking, yes, already, about the 2018 USC football depth chart. Let's get right into it. Sam Darnold taking his talents to the next level. What are your thoughts, Nick, on USC at the signal caller position?
Well, obviously we're losing probably one of the best quarterbacks in USC history in Sam Darnold, and that's obviously going to be a big hole to fill. But we have 3 fully capable quarterbacks that can fill in for him. We have JT Daniels, the gem of this class. We have Matt Fink, who got a little bit of playing time last year against Oregon State and had a long run against them, so he's exciting to watch. And then Jake Sears, another highly touted recruit coming out of high school, and I think he really could do some damage. This will be a competition all the way through training camp, but if you ask me, I think day 1, JT Daniels is going to be the starter.
Now, I understand that you're also feeling pretty okay about the backfield situation with Mr. Carr there. What can you tell us?
I mean, obviously, Ronald Jones is a great player, and losing him is a big loss to this team. But, I mean, Stephen Carr, we saw him play last year in limited action because of injuries, but he was absolutely electric. Any play where he touched the ball, he was a home run threat and could score. So I think that could be a strength of this team, and early on in the season at least, while the quarterback situation develops, this team is going to lean heavily on Stephen Carr and its offensive line, which 4 of 5 starters are returning, which is a huge win, especially down in the trenches. You want that experience and players knowing what to do. And I think early in the season, the ground game will be a powerhouse.
and filling in for Rojo might be a little bit easier if he can stay healthy. Of course, was dealing with that foot injury, missed some games last year in the middle of the season. If he can stay healthy, watch out. Stephen Carr, you're exactly right. All right, let's transition to wide receivers. Some big names coming in on the recruiting trail.
Well, we have some big recruits, but I want to focus on Tyler Vaughns and Michael Pittman. Both of these guys were here last year. Standout players. Tyler Vaughns, especially at the end of the year, really came on as a strong player and finished as USC's second leading receiver. Michael Pittman, I mean, we saw how dynamic he is with that punt return against UCLA. As well as the number 3 position, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown obviously coming in. He could be the Robin to JT Daniels' Batman
Love
if
it.
he's quarterback.
Love it.
And because of that modern day connection, I think we could easily see Amon-Ra St. Brown rise up the depth chart, especially if JT Daniels is in at quarterback.
Lastly, the defense. Replacing a guy like Uchenna Nwosu on the edge, it's really tough. How do they do it?
I mean, you can't replace him. It's as easy as that. He's led the team in pass deflections last year, was an absolute monster on the field. But we have a lot of players coming in to fill his position. We have Levi Jones, a recruit from last year from Texas, 5 stars. I think he had some time to develop and could really fill his shoes, as well as a healthy Porter Gustin, who, if you remember at the beginning of the season, was on an absolute tear before injuries took him out. So I think watch out for this defensive line. It really could surprise us all.
Porter, the return of Cam Smith, a whole bunch of big names. Absolutely love it. Nick Kaufman, good stuff as always. Lauren, take it away.
Thank you, Josh. Today is a big day for these young men who are deciding where they're going to spend their next 4 years. For some of them, it's been a day they've dreamt of since they were little kids. So we took a look at social media to see what they were tweeting about today. 4-star recruit Elijah Winston, whom the Trojans flipped from Oregon, was sentimental on social media, saying there were times when moments like this felt impossible. All praise to the man above. Fight on. #I decided. 5-star wide receiver and a big pickup for the Trojans, Devin Williams, went a different route, saying, sorry for the wait. Next, 5-star defensive back Elijah Griffin tweeted out, the marathon continues. But that's enough on signing day. Next up is Jazz with a breakdown of how the men's basketball team is doing.
Los Angeles bragging rights were on the line last Saturday at Pauley Pavilion, and it was a game USC really should have won. The Trojans led UCLA 69-60 with just over 8 minutes left, and that's where things started to go a little bit downhill. USC didn't score a point for almost 4 minutes, and the Bruins were able to take advantage, going on an 11-0 run over that time. Still, the Trojans had a chance to win that game. It really came down to one play, tied up at 77 with less than a minute left. UCLA big man Thomas Welsh comes off a screen roll with Aaron Holiday. Chimezie Metu, Jordan McLaughlin get their signals crossed and ended up leaving Welsh wide open for the 3. He hit that shot. You could see a lack of communication there. They either should have switched or Metu stays on, doubled hard, so Holiday has to pick up his dribble. Either way, that was the ball game after that. Now, the good news for the boys, they can get right back at it. The bad news, it's not going to get any easier this weekend. They're starting off a 2-game road trip tomorrow at Arizona State. Sun Devils led by guard Trey Holder. He's dropping 19 points a game. Arizona State, the highest scoring team in the Pac-12, averaging 85 per contest. So the Trojans really can't afford to make those kind of mistakes on the defensive end, or the Sun Devils will light up that scoreboard. Saturday night will be even tougher. UCLA plays nationally ranked number 13 Arizona. The Wildcats' dynamic duo of Alonzo Trier and DeAndre Ayton, top 2 scorers in the Pac-12, both of them averaging over 19 a game. So it should be interesting to see what happens. Now, the good news for the Trojans, if they do complete a 2-game sweep, they'll be at least tied for first in the Pac-12. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jazz. Well, speaking of men's basketball, Elijah Stewart is a big name on the roster, but he's not the only Trojan named Elijah. Signing day brought 2 new Elijahs to the Trojan football team, but the catch is they're all spelled differently. Who knew there were so many different spellings?
Yeah, there are a lot of permutations, as we might say. These are all good. They're all strong. I'm leaning towards this one. It starts with an O. I like the uniqueness quotient on that.
It's very creative. I don't think I've ever seen that. Actually, most of them I haven't seen.
Yeah. Also, wild card, Elijah Penny, Arizona Cardinals running back, spelled differerly than all these. So I'm adding in a 5th, wild card.
I guess I picked that one.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm picking this one. Anyways, That's all the time we got. Follow us on everything at Annenberg Media Sports, and have a great week.
Thank you.